guys, we are back with Messy on Purpose, and I have my new friend Liz here. I actually met her through my husband's love for cigars. So
Yes.
she's going to give us a little introduction on her, and then we're going to dive into a great topic that's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay, that sounds great. All right, so I moved here from Colorado about 8 years ago, and I do absolutely love Las Vegas. I don't miss Colorado. We could talk about that someday.
We can.
And I started working in the cigar shop, even though I've spent my whole life working in salons. And what I think is interesting is I met Justin, her husband, who's really one of the few cool guys that comes in there. Like he's just a really normal, good guy, and we've had some really good conversations about Colorado and uh, just what he's doing in life and stuff like that. And through that, he brought in Felicia for me to meet her, which is really great. And we kind of just hit it off because we have a lot of things in common, which I think is part of what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, very rare too. Like
Very rare.
I don't run into a lot of females that have anything in common with.
Me neither. Me neither.
And that's kind of what we're going to talk about. So
Yeah.
we're gonna talk about that. We'll probably dive in a little bit on Colorado a little bit, and
Yeah, that'd be good too. Because I don't know much about Felicia, nor does she probably know much about me. So
Yeah.
I'd like to learn a little bit about her too.
So this will be fun.
Yes, I can't wait.
Yeah, I love it when I have a conversation with people that I like don't really know because there's so much to learn.
Absolutely, 100%. Yes.
So where should we start?
I think what I was saying earlier, and it's really interesting to me, is you and I might have come from different backgrounds, probably. But I want to know how we got to the point that we are very. I personally have men friends. I have quite a few, and that's all I deal with all day. And I've never had many female friends because I've just never felt like I fit in 100%. Also, I didn't feel like I could trust women as much as I trust men. And one thing I really love about men is one of the reasons I hang out with men is if you say something that offends each other, you get over it, you move on, and there's no BS, there's no pettiness, there's no for 2 weeks you don't speak to each other. We have little tiffs even where I work sometimes. We get into little things. And in 5 minutes, we're over it and we've moved forward. And that's really important to me because I'm a move forward person. I don't like to get stuck in pettiness. And so that's part of my thing is I just think I appreciate men because we can just maybe part of it's we talk more superficial and I don't have to get as deep into my life with them. Maybe that's it. Now that I'm thinking about it.
I actually don't think that's the case though, because there are quite a few men that I like just lay it all out too.
That's true. That's true too. That is so true.
Like my poor friend Lee, he's probably heard way too much.
Well, see, that's you can tell them a lot, but I think it's just different.
It
It's
is different.
and I came from a really male dominated background, and I wanted to hang out with my brother and my dad. So because I was so into wanting to hang out with them, I had to learn a lot of male things. So I had to be they hunted and they fished and they and played sports. So I did all the things guys would do. So I knew the more athletic I became, the more attention I got.
Interesting.
If I was good at fishing, the more attention I got.
So you were more of like a Tom girl,
Tom girl.
but for the reason of wanting to hang out with
Yes.
them, not because that's necessarily what you automatically enjoyed.
Right.
It was because you wanted to spend time with
Yes. I wanted to spend time with my brother and my dad. So because of that, I became a tomboy. And then it developed into that I absolutely loved athletics and I just kind of had a gift for that. So I became deeply immersed into athletics. And when you're a girl that's deeply immersed, and I don't mean just a little bit, I mean in a low level Caitlin Clark type level where it's all you care about, all you think about, and you're just immersed in it. So I met many men through that because they were big fans of mine, big supporters of mine, and I had a lot of things going on with guys in sports. So that became a big thing. But what that created, especially in high school, was a lot of jealousy with a lot of girls because the guys were big friends of mine and followed me and wanted to go to all my sporting events and everything. The girls that were their girlfriends did not like it, which I understand. But it would be kind of like meeting Justin at work, and he and I are friends. But I've always respected that he talked about you, and he's so respectful. He's not in any way, shape, or form a weirdo. He just wants to talk to you. He talks, has normal conversations. I respect that so much. So those are the kind of guys I'm friends with.
Right. And there's no reason to be jealous of
None.
that. None.
Absolutely none.
I've never worried, even if a girl, actually, I kind of find it funny when girls hit on him, but that's just me. I'm a little crazy.
I think that's awesome.
But like, why would I know he's fully committed. Like, that's not like I'm worried he's gonna cheat on me. And if you are worried, why are you worried?
100%. Why are you with him if you're worried about that?
Yeah.
And you've got to be so self-confident to know that you're good enough to be where you are and who you are, and you don't worry about other women when you're that kind of person.
And a lot of that comes from confidence, right? Like,
100%.
So me and Justin have been together, I don't know, I'm so bad at the math. I don't know, 12 years or something.
I bet he knows.
He might. He's better than me.
To the day.
He's told me I was this age. I'm like, okay. I mean, but so it's been a long time. But like when we first got together, both of us were still drinking, and I mean, we were very insecure in who we were, and like there was little things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not to the extreme. We were also young, not to the extreme of like it was gonna ruin the relationship, but it definitely wasn't healthy, right?
Right.
And it wasn't like psycho crazy. I didn't lose my mind over like certain women, but but there was definitely insecurities. But in that time, I have worked on myself, and I've gotten more confident in who I am. You know, I'm would have never did this when I was younger. Never. Way too self-conscious, way too worried about what everybody thought. Definitely had zero confidence in myself and my abilities or anything like that. So like to be able to do something like that has grown as working on myself, figuring myself out, building confidence, doing things that I never thought I would do, pushing myself to the limits. And all of that has brought all those insecurities to an end. There's none. Not any.
I agree with you 100%. I think confidence to me is everything. And it's what a lot of women are lacking. And I wish more women could get confidence. If I could go out and do one thing, I'd love to tell women, just start believing in yourself and believe you're great at what you are, great at who you are. Too many women lack self-esteem.
Yes.
And I feel in a way like when we were in high school and younger, instead of girls being raised to back each other up, like guys grow up with a camaraderie, like they're bros.
They do. It's different.
They back each other up. They've got each other's back to the bitter end. Women kind of grow up jealous of each other, competitive with each other, things I wish we could get rid of because I think it could help us get so much further. I've always said women just need confidence. Confidence makes you a completely different person.
Well, and building confidence gets rid of those insecurities. And most of us, I think both of us, part of the reason we differ from a lot of women is because we think more logical.
Yes.
And that is not common in women. Most women think more emotionally,
yes,
which is why insecurities tend to push them a little bit more on the emotional level to where they outburst things.
Yes, you're exactly right. It goes, you're right. They go too far and express it in a not good way.
Yeah.
And I've seen that my entire life. And so I've been very careful choosing along the way who I would choose as a girlfriend. And I've had to find other strong female figures that I could be friends with. And oddly enough, not many of mine were in the sports world, even though that was what's dominant for me. I was more friends with a lot of like more girly girls, as you would say, but they were very confident in who they were and what they were. And I needed that in my life. It's like, if you can be confident, I can hang out with you. If you're not, we're not going to make it.
It's not going to work.
It's not going
to hurt your feelings.
Yes, I will hurt your feelings somehow. I'm not that going to hold your hand every step of the way. And I can't be there for somebody constantly because I have a life and I have a lot going on. So for me to even give of myself enough to be like I'm single right now, which I'm really loving being single. I can't even dedicate that much of myself. I'm trying to do so many other things that I can't really dedicate it to that. I can't be there for anybody. But when it comes to women, it's just a whole nother thing. And how you meet them here in Las Vegas, I don't know.
It's hard. It's hard.
How do you even meet somebody normal?
I've made a few friends here that just didn't last.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't connect with women here. I mean, either we have them emotionally unstable or like the lack of confidence and things like that, or I just don't have anything in common. Oh, I work. That's exactly me. It's same as you. Like I keep myself busy if I'm not working my actual day-to-day job. I have a coaching business, and then I also do this, and like by the time I'm done with all and I even ventured into, you can see my pile of stuff over there, so that's all TikTok affiliate.
Yes,
so I've been doing that too,
and you have a big calendar so I can tell you're organized.
Oh, and that is so I can do a bikini competition, so I just don't have time.
Are you really going to do that?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
My goal is, so it was going to be to do it this year, but I don't think I'm ready. I want to make sure that I can actually compete.
Right.
So the goal is to put on enough muscle to actually compete and actually be able to win, hopefully.
Right.
And so that is what I want to do. I don't want to just do one to do one. So I'm going to give myself a year to put that on. I'm going to do, that's what my board is over there.
That's awesome, because you've got so much stuff lined up. That's amazing.
I feel like a crazy person because I keep myself so busy.
But that's probably what helps you. I would imagine. That's probably what you seem like you might need that in your life. Like you're a person that's a go-getter and has to have stuff going.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a little less of a go-getter, but I have things I love to do. So I'm always, like we were just talking as I drove in, how beautiful it is in this area. I like to go hiking. I like to be out in nature. I like to be on the go
from Colorado.
Yes,
it makes sense.
Yes. This is a little different hiking over here.
It's definitely different.
Yeah,
it's not as fun.
No, it's a whole nother. But people say I like it. I kind of like that I can go out in this big, vast expanse of nothingness and just stand there and go. There's no sound. There's no people. There's nothing. I just every once in a while, just to reprogram myself, I have to go do things like that. So
it's nature. It's just being out in nature. Absolutely. Helps. I just sometimes, even when I get like kind of just caught up in stuff, not right now because it's summertime in Vegas, but yes, I like to just like if I'm too much going on and I just can't focus, I'll go for a walk. I'll take the dog for a walk.
Do you and Justin do stuff together a lot, or do you do stuff by yourself? How do you? Is he busy a lot doing his own thing?
Yeah. So he's into cars, which, well, I'll tell you my background here pretty soon.
Yeah, I want to hear that. I want to hear this.
But he's into cars. Not my thing. I am not a tomboy in any sense.
Yeah. But you kind of seem like you have a little tomboy attitude.
I think you do. I think logically. So that's what puts me in that, like, kind of, you would think that.
Yeah.
But other than hiking, I'm good on outdoors. Like, I'm not doing extreme activities. Like, I mean, I camp, but like, I'm picky too.
Do you glamp or do you camp?
No. We actually do camp.
Okay, you camp.
We've camped in the truck, and then we've camped rooftop, and then we've camped ground tents, which I don't do anymore.
No, and that hurts. I don't really enjoy doing that as much as I did in the day. That's a little too much.
Yeah, I refuse now. Yeah, I'm like, it's not on the roof. I'm good.
And I also don't like it's not that I have to look good or anything, but I like to be able to wash my face and put on a little makeup if I want to. So sometimes that extreme camping is a little much.
I don't really mind that. I don't necessarily ever want to do a camper, and the reason is because I like being able to get away from people when we're
Absolutely.
Camping.
That's so, my thing right
that
there.
Off-grid.
I like everything off-grid.
Yes. I'm not put me in a campsite, now I'm paranoid. There's too many people around. There's dogs barking, and it's just
no. Well, no, and then it's like, what are you getting away from? If you're going to that, what are you actually trading in for?
It's a glorified trailer park.
Yes. Yes. And I'm not saying anything about a trailer park. Luckily, I didn't grow up in one, and I don't want to be in one. Did you?
half of my childhood was in a trailer park, so I can say that.
So you don't want to go back to it.
No.
And I don't want to go there. It's like, no. I don't really want to be around that's what I say when I go out and I found places I can go and just be completely by myself. And it's when you can reflect. You know, I always say nobody can fix you better than yourself. So like if I have anything going on, I have to go out and think and sometimes just talk to myself, hey Liz, you need to get it together. You gotta get it together. I'm the only one that can really straighten myself out. So I have to sometimes just go be free and go do stuff like that. just to get myself.
I mean, I totally get that. Like, if somebody tries to tell me what to do, like, I'm not going to want to do it.
No.
I tell myself, you need to get it together. You need to do this. Explains the calendar.
Yes, like, exactly.
It makes a difference.
And then you'll fix it.
Yeah. I can only depend on myself, and that's something I think I got just growing up.
Yes.
Just in general. Like, you realize that, like, no one's coming to save you.
Yes.
So you got to figure this out.
Exactly.
I'll tell you a little bit about my growing up,
yeah,
so you can kind of understand the like female dynamic then.
Yeah.
So growing up, I had a sister and 2 brothers that lived with me until I was probably like, I think it was like 8 or 10, anyways, it was 4th grade actually. We moved in with the man I call my dad now. He technically adopted us, right? And that's what got us out of the trailer park.
Well, that's good. Then that's a plus.
So we moved from, we were on the Illinois and Iowa border, and we were over in Illinois in a trailer park in Milan, and we moved across the river into a small town called Buffalo and into a house. So big difference, right?
Big difference.
So we moved over there.
Can I ask just real quick what about your real dad? What happened with him?
So
is that an okay topic?
Yeah, no, it's a fine topic. He just had some issues, drug related stuff, and they split up. And honestly, I seen stuff that I didn't want to see when I would visit, and I got to the point where I refused to go. And then I don't honestly know what happened, but eventually he gave up his rights. I don't know how my mom got him to give up his rights or whatever. Wow. And then my dad adopted us. Nothing against him at all. He clearly cleaned up his act. He worked for the railroad. He moved to California. He got married. They were happy. When I disconnect from something, I fully disconnect, and I disconnected at such a young age that like building a relationship later on just wasn't in the cards.
I gotcha.
So,
right, exactly.
Like, I also don't talk to my mom anymore very much. Like, it's not, and that's a whole other thing which I won't put on here. But
we could have a family thing that could probably take 3 hours. Yeah, I mean, I've got things too. Yeah.
So, and I just keep my distance. It's not that I don't talk to her at all. Like, I'll say happy birthday, happy Mother's Day, things like that. I have no bad blood. I don't have bad blood with anyone. I just honestly distance myself for boundary reasons.
Right.
And so yeah, he ended up passing away. So he's not my real dad.
Oh
yeah.
Gosh, I'm sorry.
So again, no feelings.
Right, but I know, but still all that's a part of your childhood that does have effects on you. Even if you get away from it, it still has little pieces.
And that's stuff that's part of the whole growth thing that I've been through. I've really processed a lot of that, and it's there, but it doesn't necessarily affect me anymore.
It's probably what's helped make you stronger.
Yes. Yeah. It's almost like it built some blocks, right?
Yes,
to like
absolutely.
strengthen me. And so then we moved over there. I only had one friend like in the elementary when I was younger and lived in Milan in the trailer park, right? Mm-hmm. I had one friend then. We were so young. I mean, we played, what was it, like Nintendo or whatever it was,
Yeah.
And like, I remember, it's so sad, but like a lot of my childhood is just like erased. But I remember like we would play that, we'd hang out, whatever, play Barbies, stuff like that. But that was the only real friend that I remember from that part of my life for a female. But I've always had a sister too.
Are you close to your sister?
I'd say I used to be closer. We just don't have anything in common. We're on 2 different paths, you know?
Right.
And then we moved over, and then I basically had like 1 or 2 friends, I think, all the way through. I would say I had more than that technically. Like, there was a group of girls we'd hang out, but I wouldn't say I was really even close to a lot.
That's the deal right there.
Yeah.
You have so many girls you hang out with, or acquaintances, or people I have people I've worked with that were work friends.
Yeah.
Or I have different, but they weren't the friends that I would tell my deepest, darkest things to either.
And I still don't think I've ever had that.
No, I only have with my sister, my oldest sister, who basically kind of raised me. That's the only thing. But we're very, very close. And she and I can tell each other anything and everything. It took me a while to get there because there's things in your past you sometimes don't want to talk about.
Yep.
And so you have to really trust somebody to spill those kind of things. So we've had some deep talks. So I've had one super deep, really good friend, but I don't have friends like from, I'm quite a bit older than you, I'm assuming. I don't have friends from my past that I go, oh, I'm still seeing this person I've known for 35 years. I just don't have that. I just don't.
I mean, so I have one friend that, we talk occasionally, or like she'll come through, and she was doing some like nomad stuff, like where they were on campers and stuff. We just don't have anything in common.
Right.
And I wouldn't even say that we were like super close. We're familiar. We're like sisters. Familiar, we grew up together. You know what I mean? But like, it's not the, I'm going to call and catch up and things like that. Like, I think I've talked to her like maybe a couple messages in the last couple years. I don't know. Yeah. So it's not like anything. It's just, I've never had the connection and the reason I know that it's different is because I have that with Justin.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
That's just what I was going to ask you. I said, I bet you have it with him.
Yep. He's the only person that I feel like I have literally told everything to.
Right.
And I still continue to.
That's super cool that you even have him.
Yeah.
Going back to that part too, sometimes with a guy, I feel like you can tell them more sometimes, than you can't, just because there's sometimes a little less judgment, I think is what it is. Or I don't feel...
They don't look at things from an emotional side.
Not at all.
But it does suck when you want an emotional reaction.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. or things like little things. If you work with men, don't plan on being told your hair looks cute after you cut it, because they don't know you cut your hair.
They don't even know.
They don't know if you wear a new pair of shoes or clothes or anything. They don't notice any of that. So you have to be perfectly okay that you're not going to get any of that. When you work with women, you get a lot of that, which is part of what we probably need too. I don't know. Do we need all these things in our life?
I see. My issue with that though is, so a lot of women look at that as like women supporting women and all of this stuff too. But we're not technically doing that. Most of the time women are doing that, and it's coming from a negative way. Yeah. It's coming from a selfish way. Right. You're doing that, but you're not actually being truthful a lot of the time.
A lot of times you're saying it out of jealousy.
Yes.
Like you walk in and they look great, and you have to say they look great, but inside you're thinking, oh,
and then you go and talk bad about them later.
Right. Oh, right.
Or the people that, so this is going to sound, there's going to be people that don't like this, but when somebody is extremely overweight and you are telling them how gorgeous and beautiful they are, I know you're lying.
Exactly. And it's become now kind of the thing to do. Mm-hmm. I've noticed this more and more and more. It's almost like the bigger you are, or the whatever it is, more extreme in some direction, the more you have to be 100% positive, and you cannot say, actually, maybe you need to lose a little weight. You can't say that to people. You can't.
I don't see why I can't, right? I want you to lose weight because I want you to be healthy, because I care. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're beautiful, keep getting fatter.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm just not that person. And I've done that many times. Oh, you should probably start working out. I can put together a meal plan for you.
Yes. Yes. No, I know. And it's very complicated. This whole dynamic of what you can or can't say to people right now.
Yes.
And I do believe there's a lot of fakeness, and I do believe a lot of people just say what they think everybody else wants them to hear versus what the truth is. And like, okay, when I first met Justin, that's one of the things I liked about him, is he's just straightforward honest.
Oh, he'll hurt your feelings.
He would hurt your feelings, and he has never hurt mine, thank you. But he would hurt your feelings, but it wouldn't be because he was trying to. It'd be because he's honest.
And he is, and he's just overly honest.
And I've always been around men like him, so I appreciate that. I appreciate a guy that'll tell me, oh, no, you're not. No, you could do a little better there, Yeah. I want to know that. And in the same way, I'm going to do the same thing to them. But I can tell a guy that. I can tell a guy, oh, man, you're looking a little chunky. And I might even be joking, but they're not going to cry for 3 hours because I said that to them. If I said that to another girl, they would probably cry for days.
And yeah, and it's even hard if you phrase it correctly. Like there's no right way to tell somebody that, but like
there is no.
When you think more logically, which we do,
yes.
If I were to tell you something or you were to tell me something, I would look at it like, okay, they're telling me that for a reason.
Yes.
Like that they're not doing it because they're purposely trying to hurt me. I can tell if someone's purposely trying to hurt
me. Me too. I can tell exactly.
It's totally different.
Yes.
Somebody tried to bully me when I was a kid. I used to have a mole like right here, and they tried to call me mole and thought it was clever, and I was like, okay, that was the dumbest thing you could have came up with. My name is Felicia. Let's be real. So you know what I mean?
Like, no, I know. I've been there too.
So it's like I know when somebody's being mean on purpose, and then I know the difference of somebody genuinely telling me something.
And do you do this too when someone is being mean to you on purpose? I immediately go into my like analytical thing. I go, why are they doing that? Mm-hmm. What made them choose that to say, to do? What are they exactly trying to do? Because I can usually turn that around and get them to back off of whatever they're doing because I can figure out why they did it. Because a lot of times it is just jealousy over something completely stupid. And you want to say, is something I'm doing bothering you? Is there something, you really need to tell me? Because that passive aggressive thing. Mm-hmm.
I've actually asked people.
Yeah.
What am I doing that's causing you to act like this?
Right.
And most of the time they cannot answer because they don't even know. That's the thing. I
think that may be it too. You might be onto something. I think sometimes it's the little subconscious jabs you have in there. Mm-hmm. Or something.
Well, remember when we were talking about insecurities? So when people have a bunch of insecurities and they haven't worked through the issues they have. So like one of my ongoing goals is to honestly better myself every day.
Yes.
In every way.
Me too.
The way I think, I want to talk less bad about people, or I want to make less comments. Like, sometimes you think things and you're just like, why am I thinking that?
Right.
I do that on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know why they're doing these reactions to things.
Exactly.
And a lot of it's because they have never processed what's causing those reactions. And those are things that could be related to childhood traumas or things that you've had in relationships, or just lack of communication skills or understanding of how people work, and emotional intelligence and things like that. So it's education, and then it's also working through your issues.
Agreed.
And so I do see that a little different now, and I do try to look at that too. So like when I have say like a reaction from a family member that I'm just like, where did this come from?
Right.
And then I sit back and I'm like, well, they're not where I am mentally. So maybe they don't even realize, and they're just doing the best they can to deal with the situation that they're put in.
Exactly.
And then you sit back and you're just like, okay, it is what it is.
Yes.
How can I react properly?
Right. And I do think with that, when you are a confident person, you sometimes intimidate people and you make them say things they wouldn't say because they're so, sometimes I think, awkwardly in awe of you. Mm-hmm. And how did that person why is she so okay with everything when everything's bothering me? And I think I do call people out in a very nice way, though. I've really gotten good at that. I don't let people get away with passive aggressive statements to me. And part of it too might be I've been a manager of people my entire life. So I've had so many years of working on this. And I know passive aggressive. And I know when people are really trying to say something and they're hiding behind words. Mm-hmm. And then I make them come out with what the real issue is so we can figure it out. Because I just can't tolerate that. I really can't tolerate it. I just don't, and I don't have time for that either. I just don't.
And it's different in a work environment too, I think.
Yeah,
right. Like you have to handle it different.
Family's another tough one.
Oh, that one's tough. But
yeah,
remember when I talked about boundaries?
Yes.
I don't talk to a lot of family.
Right. No, and I honestly have separated myself from a lot of issues because I figured this out. Okay, you go your whole life, you're trying to do everything so right and do all the right things, and you still feel like a lot of shit just comes your way. Mm-hmm. So I started thinking about it, and I said, you know what? If I'm giving more than I'm getting back, then we're going to stop that, because I'm tired of giving everything I have, and I'm an extremely good listener, so people will tell me everything, but people weren't really asking me anything about myself. And I thought, I'm not getting anything out of this friendship, so it's really not a friendship. If it's one way, It's not a friendship for me. So I don't waste my time on that anymore. I just don't.
I had a situation where I had to basically break up with a friend.
Yeah.
Which is so weird to me. I've never actually done that. I've distanced myself and the friendship just kind of goes away. But like, I've never like actually had to break up with a friend, which is really weird considering like I haven't had to break up with anyone and I couldn't tell you how long.
Right.
And so it's very interesting, but it was that is same exact situation. Tell me everything. Never ask about me. If you ask about me, it's usually in a selfish way.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is you asked what's wrong because your insecurities are telling me I'm acting a certain way, even if I'm not.
Right.
Is usually the case.
Yes, exactly. You're so right.
And so yeah, that one's tough. That one's tough. The one-way relationship. And I've found that like I feel like I'm just the type of person that's always wanted to give a little, and it sounds like you are too. Yes. Where I just constantly just want to help people. Like I want to help you grow your business. I want to bring you on the podcast to tell your story. Like I started this for other people technically. I didn't even start this for me. Right. And so like I've always been that way. I've always just wanted to help. I just want to help. And I've always gotten crapped on for it. And you get used and abused and thrown out. Yes. And I got to the point in the journey of working on myself that I don't tolerate that anymore. I have my boundaries. Mm-hmm. And when I see a situation that is now no longer servicing me in a way that is beneficial for me mentally, I'm going to end it. Me too. 100%. It has to have, I used to do it all for everybody else. And I said, that's ridiculous. You have to get something out of it. Yeah. You know, you can't just give and never get anything back. You're pouring from an empty cup. 100%. So I'm just like you. I have strong boundaries too, probably, which is why I don't have that many friends. And yes, me too. And probably I have more people that think they're my friend than they are my friend. And if they were smart enough to know that, you know, like I've been able to walk away from certain situations and not look back, and people are thinking, I thought we were like closer than that. That's the problem. You didn't know me at all, like at all. I think too, a lot of people think that they're closer to people than they really are. They do. And it's something if you're not aware, you don't realize, right? You don't realize that you don't even have strong connections if you don't know how to build those connections. Exactly. Or you don't know how to build relationships, or you don't know how to, you know, navigate these feelings and express yourself fully to somebody. Absolutely. It's not a real relationship. I mean, even family members, just because they're blood doesn't mean that they're going to be a real relationship. Yes. They're just related to you. It's no different than that was a friend in school. Like, and you don't get to choose your family. No. You're born into it. Yes. And I can at least choose my friends. So I can be a little more picky. You know, whatever you get, however your family turns out, which is usually by a lot of past trauma, whatever's gone on with everybody, but everybody processes it differently. Everybody in a family processes stuff differently. So sometimes just the little kinks that go on cause you all to go different directions. And that's why I'm just like you. I'm distanced from certain parts of my family. Other I'm very close to. But I've had to work through a lot of things and had to be really honest with them and myself about where we are in life and what got us to this point, you know, and how we're all a little messed up from certain things in our past. And you've got to learn to be, you know, strong enough to get over that and just keep moving forward, because once again, that's all I care about is just going forward. It's hard too, right? Like I can't even say there's anyone I'm close to. I don't even know if anybody would care if I came back to visit or not. You know, like they maybe would if I said something. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, we'll make time or whatever." But do they really? You know, nobody's ever came to visit me. Oh, well, I can't say no one. My sister Jamie did, but she came out for technically a work thing and stayed with us. So I think people too expect you to. Oh, now I forgot where we were. So okay. I was talking about how like nobody comes to visit except for the one sister that came for a work thing. And yeah, you're right. Like they expect you to go back. They expect you, but they do not. Like it doesn't work the other way around. No. And actually, me and one of my sisters got into it a little bit from that, and I took it away as like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep my boundaries. Like I'm not gonna engage because again, mentally we're on two different levels, and it's not the same conversation. Right. And it just wasn't worth having. Right. No, there are conversations that are well worth it and worth putting the effort into. But when it gets to a certain point, rather than make it just some horrible situation, I'd rather just say, okay, You win.
I'm out. I'm going to be doing this. You do your thing. You want to come see me someday? Let me know. But here we are.
And I usually just leave it like they can feel like they won. It's fine because again, I don't come from an emotional place. I don't have ego, and I just look at it for what it is.
Right.
And if you need to feel good and you need to feel like you won that conversation, you can have it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because I'm not competitive in that way.
No,
I don't have to be the winning every little battle we have, because to me they're not even battles. They're just, once again, going back to people's insecurities, and they take stuff out on you that they shouldn't, say things that they shouldn't, and if you go back to like younger in school, I cannot even count the times that girls said something really mean to me on purpose, because they were jealous. And I back then was too young to understand that and let it, like this one girl, one day I wore this yellow dress that I thought was really pretty. And she told me I looked terrible and that yellow was a horrible color and I looked so ugly in it. And then she just told me all this stuff. And at that moment, I let her win because it killed me. And for about probably 10 years, I didn't wear the color yellow because I thought I was ugly in yellow, just because she made me feel that way. But the moral of this is, once I became a stronger person and started realizing, she did that to hurt me because I had better things in my life than she did. And she just was out to seriously hurt me.
It was probably a kid that didn't get a lot of new things, you know what I mean? She was jealous of you talking to the boys.
The boys, that was a big one.
It was just those little things are constantly hitting her, and then she's like, I'm going to hurt her too.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to go after her. I'm going to take her down some pegs. She's too happy in life. Let's just mess. Do you notice that too? Like I'm extremely positive and really happy all the time. Yeah. Me too. Positive, happy. Every day I'm in a great mood. And there have been some people that I think that bothered, and they almost like had to try to take you down, like get you off that happiness you're on. And I'm like, why would you dare be trying to stop someone from being happy?
Because they're unhappy.
Because they're unhappy.
And if somebody else is unhappy, they can justify their unhappiness.
I think that's true. And that, unfortunately, is way more, I'm sorry to say it, a girl thing.
Oh, for sure.
Because I don't have guys doing that to me.
No, because guys go after things a little different, right?
Different, yeah.
They have this whole like alpha thing with them. Yeah. They're trying to one up each other, but they're still bros.
Yes, but they still back each other up.
Yeah, and then they always have each other's back. So if there's an issue, the tribe stays together, right?
Yes.
If they're in a competition, they're in a competition.
Yeah, they're going to kill each other to win, but they'll still be friends afterwards.
Or like you see, something I've always noticed in like UFC. You have the women. Yeah. Very rarely do they hug afterwards.
No.
Men almost always do.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly it. Is that dog?
I don't know what she's doing.
I'm sorry, I'm obsessed with her dog. But no, that is true. That was another thing, being in sports. That was another interesting thing. It's like, I don't know. I just, the whole dynamic is so different. And being, I think we talked about, because I work in a cigar shop, I work around men all day long, 24/7.
I used to work in a shop, same thing.
Like you learn so much from. I would like to be able to tell a lot of their wives some things I know, because a lot of them are there because their wife, I don't think, lets them talk ever. And so they come in there and they're like just dying for someone to listen to them. So actually what I do is just listen.
I used to work at a bar. It was kind of the same thing.
It's the
same thing. They just come in to talk.
They just want to talk so bad.
Which is crazy, because men don't even like to talk that much for the most part.
Think they don't, but I think...
I'm married to one.
Yeah.
He don't like to talk. Yeah. He likes me to shut up a lot of the time. He'd rather just to be quiet in the car.
Yeah, that's because... But I think it's too... I think sometimes it's who you're with.
Yeah.
Okay, for instance, you know each other really well. You know each other too well. In a way, it might be more important to him and sometimes you to have somebody else hear your story, because you both know each other's. Sometimes it's cool to tell somebody else.
Well, we probably annoy each other by telling the same thing sometimes on accident.
And you want a little bit new. Because, now, oddly enough, Justin, when he's at the store, I think he's very talkative. See, I would have said he's very talkative.
I know he comes there to like that's like social for him.
Yeah, that's
he's not. He doesn't really like socialize outside of that. I would say. He's more of a homebody.
Yeah, he's not he's not. But he's just, you can tell he likes to talk, but he's not like in your face or anything, and he
likes to educate. That's his thing. Yes. I don't know how many times he's tried to explain things to you, but that is definitely like his favorite talking point.
Yes, or like I've noticed we have some things in common. We're picky about certain things, like we're talking about how clean he likes to keep his car. Yeah, and I'm one of those too. I'm a little bit weird about stuff like that. So we've had some stuff we've talked about where we compare those things, and I said, okay, I can see where he's coming from. He's structured in those ways. And
I tell him it's his cartism.
Yeah, he does have cartism. And sometimes I do too. We were talking about when you get in somebody's car and they've got food and wrappers all over the floorboards, and you're thinking, okay, what's their house like, or what's their life like? That
it does show character.
It really does. It does. So see, that's another great subject. So we talk about things like that. But some of the guys that come in there you can tell they are just dying to tell you anything. And sometimes it might be because you might listen without judging, whereas their wife's going to say, oh, shut the fuck up. I've heard that 100 times.
Well, and I mean, we do have a lot of relationships that are just not like the healthiest, right? Not healthy. We just talked about how we can't make friends with females. Imagine being married to some of these females.
Oh, I cannot. No. No, I can't imagine it.
And that would be rough, right? That's why a lot of these men just kind of go home and they get silent. It's not even that they don't necessarily. It's not that they can't talk when they go home. It's maybe that they don't want to.
Maybe they don't want to. I think they love being at work or out doing other things and find a lot of things to do outside the home. And
if you're not happy at home, and which you should be happy to go home, not that you shouldn't enjoy other places, right? Like people go to a cigar bar to talk. They go to a bar to talk. I mean, if you're there for bad reasons, then there might be some help needed.
Yes, exactly.
But most people, those are all social activities.
Yes.
But if you don't get or don't want to talk at home, you're going to want to talk even more in those social aspects.
Well, I think to be in a really good relationship, you need to be almost best friends.
Oh, for sure.
If not best friends.
Yeah.
But almost best friends. Because to really make it work, I think you need to be at that level. So if you're not at that level, you have to get away from it. Mm-hmm. And then I'm one of these that if it's not working, don't stay. Don't stay. But do something for both of you to make it better. Get the heck out.
And I understand, like, marriage is supposed to be forever, right? Yeah. And I do think you should do what you can to try to make it work, right?
Yes.
Like, you should get help and try to work through things. Yes. But if it doesn't work and everyone's unhappy, end it.
End it. Absolutely. For everyone involved.
Yeah, it's not.
And your friends see it. Everybody sees it. You think people don't see it. Everybody. There is nothing more comfortable than being with a couple that don't like each other.
Oh my God, it's horrible.
That's the worst of the worst. And you just feel so uncomfortable being there.
It's awkward.
I don't even like being around anybody, male, female, or who don't like another person, and I'm in that same room. I just feel like, oh my God, this is just.
When you feel like you don't know who to talk to.
Right. Because
what to say. Now, if I say something wrong to this person's going to be mad. Yes. Or if I talk to this person's going to be mad. And it's just it's super uncomfortable.
Very, very uncomfortable. Now, you can go back to the girl thing with that. If you have a large group of girlfriends, or, you've probably done stuff where a bunch of you've gone out, maybe 5, 6, 7 of you go out to do something. There inevitably is going to be some kind of fight that night because somebody is not going to get along with the situation. Somebody's either not going to get enough attention, not enough guys hit on them, whatever it is makes some of them angry. And then it becomes this thing. That's another thing. I hated going out in large groups. I'd rather be one-on-one if I'm going to go out, so we can kind of figure stuff out. But when it's a group, you feel like you're trying to calm the waters all the time, and it's not always possible to do that because
and I think that's just from the personality that we both have with that more logical thinking. I think that's where that comes from because I'm always paying attention to everything that's going on.
Me too.
I'm trying to keep everything flowing well and making sure everyone's safe.
Yeah.
That's where my brain goes because 9 times out of 10, I'm with Justin.
Right.
I don't have to necessarily pay as much attention because I feel safe.
Right.
But when I'm out with girls, most women don't pay enough attention.
Not at all.
I actually just did a video, a little clip that I was talking about not tying your shoes in a parking lot. And that's because my shoes came untied and it just came to my brain the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
But like you think about it, you come down, you bend down, right? And you're tying your shoe.
Terrible.
You can't see anything around you if you're by yourself.
Absolutely.
Now, if I'm with somebody else, it's not a big deal. If I'm with Justin, I'm like, here, hold this. I'm going to tie my shoe. Right. But if you're by yourself or if you're texting on your phone and you're walking through a parking lot, you're not paying attention to your surroundings.
You better know your surroundings.
Most women do not pay attention to their surroundings, especially when they're in group settings. And I've noticed that every single time I've ever done a group setting.
And I don't get that because it's not men that get raped. It's women that get raped. So how would you not be thinking, I'm in a vulnerable area. I need to be really thinking about everything I do. You better know you better have a plan for everything. I took some self-defense courses for women.
So you're ready.
They were really helpful because not even just what to do, it was talking about situations to not put yourself in. And
because if you keep yourself out of those situations, you're now making it less likely to be put into a bad situation.
Exactly. So I think I wish that's another thing I wish all women did more of that is really do some things to take care of yourself, figure out how to not get in these situations. Where I work is not the best part of town. And there's a lot of nights it's just myself and another girl that are working by ourselves. And there's been times I've had some sketchy people come in and I've thought, and the only thing that saves me is there's usually other guys in there that would stand up for us in a heartbeat. But I'm always watching I'm feeling like, okay, I'm getting those weird feelings. This is time to really.
It'll put you uneasy. I worked in a bar and it wasn't the best area of town in Iowa. And we actually got robbed one night.
Oh my God.
It was the only night I didn't have a regular there with me.
Oh my God. Were you terrified?
Oh yeah, it was one of those situations where it was like I just didn't know what to do and I kind of froze for a minute. And then I watched the owner is female and she's just like a little older lady, right? And she like fell to the ground and started freaking out. And like all I did was like stand there and I was like, I don't know what to do. And then I seen her do that and I was like, okay, I have to do something. It was going back to that like I have to do something because nobody else is going to do something.
Exactly.
So then I tried to fight the guy off and then he ended up running out with a bag real quick. And that was like the end of it.
Thank God.
Yeah. And that was it.
It could have been way worse.
It could have been way worse. So
oh my God.
It was pretty nuts. But like, it's something that you have to think about. I can tell you not one night after that did I not have someone there with me. Because I was able, it was a regulars bar. I was able to call like, hey, I'm here by myself. Can you come over here? And like, they would come over and stay.
Was it a small town or was it a
100,000 people?
And
it's made up of that's just the one city that we're in. It's called the Quad Cities. It's made up of 4 cities, technically 5. But
okay, in Iowa?
Iowa, Illinois border.
Okay, gotcha.
But this was in Iowa.
Okay.
And it was crazy. It was just a crazy time and like it was something that I never thought would happen, and you don't know, you're not planning for it, but I was uneasy when I was in the bar by myself in general.
Yes.
And that was just one time.
I do worry about stuff like that. Or when I'm closing, and I have to be out there locking the door and my back's to the parking lot.
And you're by yourself.
And you're by yourself kind of, where we always have one other person, but say it's just me and another girl.
Yeah.
I'm thinking constantly, make sure you look at everywhere before you even walk out. You don't just walk out because it's scary. And sometimes I think it really bothers me that as women, we talked about this one day, my friend and I, another friend of mine, how you have to be thinking about being attacked. It's not like I can just go out and do whatever I want and be just perfectly, if I'm out hiking, I have to have my bear spray and my taser and I have my big Doberman with me.
Having a dog helps.
It helps me a lot. It was just funny just the other day. I thought about this because we went somewhere and I was way out in the kind of middle of nowhere and I could see about a mile away my car when I looked back, and a guy had pulled up right by our car. And I thought, well, that's weird. He has a million places to park. Why is he parking right there? And it was time I was supposed to be going back to my car. So I was kind of delaying a little and realized I had to go back there. But because I had my Doberman with me, I noticed when we were coming up, at first he started to get out. And then I kind of had my Doberman go around more toward where he was. And he stayed in his car. And I left and everything was fine. And that could have been perfectly innocent. But if I hadn't been there with my dog, I think I would have been terrified. at that time.
For sure.
Because I don't know what was in that guy's mind.
You know? He could have been just scared of the dog, or he could have had ulterior motives.
Right.
And you don't know.
Right.
We don't know. We don't know what anybody's capable of.
But that's the part of being a woman that I don't like. We have to worry so much about that stuff because it's not like he's probably just going to shoot us. No. He has a lot of other intentions than that.
There's usually really bad
intentions. And it does sometimes make me very angry that we have to think about that. Rather than just go out and enjoy life, we have to be worried about that all the time.
And then on top of it, I have to listen to Justin being worried about it too.
Of course. Yes. No, the guys are worried about it.
Yeah. And they just know, like, you're going to go do this by yourself. Watch your back.
Right.
You know, like, they know too how the world works.
Well, and when you hear, as you've heard in the bar, and I hear too, if you hear large groups of men talk about women, sometimes it puts it all in perspective of where their minds are sometimes. You know, it's not always the best place.
Well, I mean, as a society, it's probably the best it's ever been for safety purposes, right? Because if you look back, you know what I mean? Like, in 100 years ago, even, like, you know, how bad it was for women and men.
Yes.
Now, I mean, at least we have classes that we can take to defend ourselves.
And we weren't allowed to say anything either. Like,
right.
You weren't supposed to say anything about a guy making you feel uncomfortable or a guy being creepy. You weren't even really supposed to talk about that in the day.
You could call somebody out and get beat up for it. And
exactly. That, exactly. So there's a lot to that. We
came a long way, but
we have.
It's still a thing.
We have come a long, long ways. We just need to get everybody fully confident and believing in themselves.
Well, and I think too, the reason things still happen is because we have so many people not paying attention.
Absolutely.
Like, and now we have even more distractions because now we have people on their phones, scrolling Facebook, walking through a parking lot.
That phone thing is the worst thing in the world when you're by yourself and you're not paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I've sometimes caught myself a couple of times not paying attention, and someone walks up that I wasn't expecting, and I think, oh my God, you were that entranced in what you were doing. You need to stop.
Mm-hmm.
This is ridiculous. So I've tried to catch myself on stuff like that and make sure. I try so hard not to do it in the car because, first of all, I'm driving, but also I don't. And if I'm in a parking lot, because sometimes you do park and you're waiting for somebody or something, and of course you're going to get on your phone immediately. But you really have to know your surroundings.
And you still need to like have an idea of what's going on around you and lock the doors.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Always. See, and I grew up in a small town many, many, many years ago that no one locked their doors at night. Nobody, because it was all supposed to be so safe. And it really wasn't that safe. And I think about that and I go, oh my God, like I'm one of those that the second I walk out the door, it's locked. Or anything I do, my doors are locked. My windows are locked.
What's crazy is this house is the safest neighborhood I've ever lived in my life.
I bet this is safe. Because for many reasons. First of all, you're way out in the boondocks.
Yeah, there's not even a bus stop out here.
This is about as far this way as you can go.
Yep.
And you're in the edge of the mountains. You're probably more prone for coyotes than actually.
Oh yeah, we see those all the time.
Yeah, there you wouldn't have as many, because people that are going to do the bad things, a lot of them have to have a bus system.
Yep. And the closest bus is Vaughn's that you pass on the way.
There you go. They have to have a reason to. Okay, when I first moved here, Southern Highlands was extremely safe. But they've done a lot of things to expand it in some bad ways. And they put in a lot of apartments that have just attracted not as good people.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to have little crime things happen around where it used to feel so safe there. Now I don't feel so safe there like I used to. And I hate that. But that's what happens if anytime places grow or things start happening.
Usually apartments too.
Bringing in a bunch of apartments is not
There's
good.
no apartments out here.
See, that's what, and there was not when I moved to Southern Highlands either. There was nothing like that. So, you know, it's got me thinking a little bit about it. It's like, okay, now I have to, am I in the best place I could be? Am I in the best area I could be? I thought I was. I'm not so sure now, you know.
And I still, like, even when we go for walks and stuff, I still watch my back and I try not to be too distracted. But, like, I am literally in the safest area you could probably be in this entire metro area.
And you're gated, which just helps.
Yeah. And then I numerous times our neighbors leave the garage door open. No one's had any issues.
Yeah.
Everybody watches out for everybody.
Right. And I can't say I've personally had an issue, but I constantly am on alert for that too, because it could happen. But and that's another part of that, going back to the girl guy thing. So the reason I'm kind of in heaven sometimes now at the cigar shop is because I love sports 100%. So I can go in and talk to guys all day about sports. If their wives only knew, there is absolutely nothing ever going on there that besides talking about sports, or we, talk about cigars.
Let's face it, men don't think about a lot of things.
They really don't. They're very simple. They are so simple. Absolutely so simple. And I think a lot of people put with their better half or their wimp, their significant other. I hear sometimes they'll be calling him, and I can hear the guy saying, "Don't worry. No, I'm not doing anything. No, I'll be home." And it's like, I'm thinking, you don't worry about him. He's in the safest place he could possibly be. He's sitting in a lounge with 10 other guys watching TV.
He could be at a strip club.
He could be, yes.
There's one down the street.
He could be hanging out, giving them ones and paying their electric bill the next week. Right. You never know.
But he's just chilling and having a cigar.
He's just chilling and having a cigar. Exactly. So it's that's another thing. But that, once again, comes with, you've got to trust yourself. Then you trust other people a lot more.
Well, and that's where, like, a lot of people don't address those issues. Like,
they don't.
They don't even see it like they're the problem. They see it everyone else is the problem.
Yes.
And unless you really dive deep and you start working on yourself, you will never reach that point. And most people won't even start.
That's just like that Morgan Wallen song about if you think I'm the problem, so you might be the reason. There's a lot. There is a lot to that. And I think people really need to look in the mirror and figure out, anytime, like, I've had 2 or 3 very serious relationships, and I have to figure out at the end, I am just as much to blame many times as they are. We have to put it in perspective of who did what, which is why I'm friends with everybody that I split up with, because we were able to keep it decent and maintain, that we're still friends to as much as you can be after, because they might move on or whatever happens. Yeah, you move on. But I think it's nice if things don't have to be as bitter as people make them.
No. But I don't have, like I said, any bad blood with any exes or anything. Yeah. Like, I don't necessarily want to be friends with most of them, but
well, they're exes for a reason.
Right. It just didn't mesh, right? Like, even on a friend level.
Yes. Yeah. You see, and I'm now, a couple of mine I'm very good friends with, just because it ended for other reasons than what made us good friends. So it might have ended for other things. Yeah. And those are things you have to just go, okay, I can't fix that. But we were good friends at one time for some reason. I hate to throw all that away, especially if you have something deep with somebody, like, say, what you have with Justin. It's hard to just,
You can't just walk away from it.
Can you imagine you and him not being together?
No, I told him he's stuck with me. I don't care.
And I'm sure he feels the same. He's probably like, this is exactly where I want to be and how I want it to be. So
I actually, my high school boyfriend, I actually trained his wife for a little bit.
For
personal training.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I coached her for a little bit, so that's kind of funny.
That's really cool, though. I think that's how it should be. Yeah, why
it's not like she's weird towards me or I'm weird towards her.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's cool that you've done that too. And that you're going to do the bikini competition. I think that's awesome.
I'm excited. Yeah, I switched my coaching to I'm going to focus mostly on entrepreneurs who are missing fitness and health in their life, right? You have everything else. You're working on a business, you have the motivation, you got the money, you got all of that, but you are missing the health.
Right.
And that's what it's usually, most people miss it because they're busy, they don't make time for it, it's not a priority.
Right.
How can we change that? And that is kind of where I've shifted my coaching.
That's great. That's great, because I think a lot of people have so many things going right in their life, but if you don't take care of your health, then nothing else is going to matter in the end, because you want to, I'm one of these. I want to live as long as I possibly can. So I try really hard to do the little things to try to take very good care of myself, because I don't want to be, I see a lot of old guys coming in, they're all stooped over. I say old guys, they're no older than I am, but they're just like,
they just didn't take care of themselves.
They did not take care of themselves.
And you can have all the money in the world, but that's not going to save you when you are struggling to move around.
Absolutely.
And go to the bathroom and hopefully make some dinner or something.
Yes. Exactly. No, you have to take care of yourself. It's super important.
I don't want to be 80 years old struggling to get from one room to the other.
Absolutely not. That is something that's one of my goals in life is I want to stay as healthy as I possibly can. And that's part of where your mental has to stay good too, because when you become depressed, you start letting yourself go and in little ways, and it all adds up.
And that's something too, a lot of people use that as an excuse. Which I get getting depressed. I get it. I've been there. I've been there done too. That. We all get there, right? Yes. I even have it sometimes, like it'll be a couple days, 1 week, and I'm just like, for some reason, I'm just down this week, right?
Yeah, there's just something bothering you, and you can't quite put a finger on it. Something is just not right.
Something's off, and I can't figure it out. Yes. And now I'm in this mood. But if you just let that control everything, now you're letting time just pass and absolutely you're not living to your full potential.
Exactly. And you just lost the battle because I think everything is, you've got to fight those demons and get past that. I have those too once in a while. I'll just have a weird day. And I always tell other people, if you look deep enough, you'll figure it out. So most of the time, if I do look really deep, it could be just some little teeny thing somebody said to me that set me off.
Just sitting there.
And I'm thinking, why did that bother me so much? Because there must be some reality to something. So there must be something there that's really bothering me. So what is it? Why is that bothering me?
There's some truth to what they said, maybe that you need to process, you need to fix, or
So that's where you need to. That's why it is good to look internally sometimes and try to, because you can't just brush it away and pretend it's not there. Sometimes things really, really need to be dealt with.
Yeah.
And
somebody's comment may just bring it to light sometimes.
Absolutely. That's exactly it. And it's good, I think, too, if you're honest with each other, either in a relationship or a friendship, is they say, hey, you want to go get coffee or something? I'm just not feeling it today. And I don't want to bring you down or anything else. I'm just not feeling it. So don't take it personally. But no, I need a day off. If you've got to be honest sometimes, because it's not good to go out and bring somebody else down just because you're down.
Well, and you shouldn't say yes to everything if you're not feeling like it.
No.
Life is way too short to
be doing. Did you used to do that?
Yes.
Because I used to do that.
And I still get guilty of it sometimes.
I am too. I'll still do things I don't want to do just because I want to make somebody else happy. And I'm thinking,
because I don't want to say no and disappoint. That's what it comes down to.
Yes. I hate disappointing. Still to this day I do. But I'm better at knowing I can gracefully disappoint somebody.
And it's okay.
Yes.
To disappoint somebody because you don't want to do something.
Well, you can't feel guilty about that.
No.
Like if it's just a bad day to do something, I can't.
Or if it's something you just don't want to do.
Absolutely. I get asked a lot of that stuff to do things that and I've had to become just better at saying, I just don't want to do that.
Yeah.
No offense, but I'm just not into that,
Justin's really good at it.
Yes.
Talk about honesty. He'll just say no.
No, I don't.
No explanation.
Yeah, I can see that you would do that. But see, that's where he's lucky. He's a guy because they can get away with that better. A lot of people don't take you right as a woman when you just are quick to say, I don't know, or I don't want to do it, or
no, you have to justify it.
Yeah, I always tell people the way I knew the difference between guys and girls and how we process things is one of my best dating stories. Is I was very single, long time ago, and in a really good time of life where I just like to go out and just date a guy here and there, but I was having so much fun doing everything else. And so I met this guy that I thought, that he'd be great because he seems just like me. And I told him, I'd love to go out with you because he kept asking me out. I said, but I've got to let you know right now, I can only go out maybe once or twice a week because I've got so much going on. And he goes, that's perfect because I don't want anything serious. That's great. Sure. And you know how this story goes. So I think I'm about 3 dates into it. And he's, well, why can't you go out tomorrow night? I said, because I've got other things going on. But what do you have going on? I guess that's really not any of your business. I tried to tell you I don't want something serious. This is part of what I had to learn, that I can be like a guy and get away with it because I'm not going to play that game anymore. And say at the cigar shop, I have a lot of the old guys desperately wanting me to do something with them. And I keep telling them, but I don't want to, I just don't do that. And they're so confused why I'm happy being single and alone. They're so confused with that. And I don't know how to explain it. And it's weird because this is kind of a trendy thing going around now. Women that are super happy being single. Okay, but I was in this trend way before it was a trend. Okay,
before it was like
before people talked about
it. It's more of I think it's not even necessarily a trend. It just no, please stop.
It's a conversation now.
Lay down. Sorry, interruption.
That's okay. She's so pretty. She can interrupt all she wants. You're just too. You are so cute. You are so cute. Look at you're just making up for everything. You're just a sweetheart.
But you won't get on camera, so
yeah. Do you want to be on camera?
She hates the camera.
You hate the camera? I think you'd be so good, Ghost. You're so cute. You are such a cutie. You are such a cutie. Yeah, but you know what I'm talking. People talk about it now, and part of it.
Well, I think it's to make them feel better about being single because more people are just single in general now.
Well, and there's also many men that are against women that feel that way because they now think that we are anti-men. Oh, it has nothing to do with being. I love men. I just don't want to be in a relationship at this moment in my life, and I'm not going to play that game of well, maybe I'll do this and okay, well maybe no. I'm pretty much dead straight honest. No, I'm not.
Well, you also have the women that say that, but then they want, you know what I mean? Like, well, there is that, that's like, true. And that confuses men. They do I think get confused. Because they look at things very logically, right? This is how it is. Yes. Oh, okay, that's what you want, but now you're dating a few other people, but you won't date me. Right. That is where it's coming from. That's true too. It's not because of you specifically; it's because of society and this movement of
this big movement that we have right now. Yes. So I'm like going, okay, wait, I was into a lot of this stuff way before it became a movement. I'm not on this train. I've been on this path my entire life. And I don't want to be, and it's just it goes back to the whole woman thing. The minute I figured out in life that confidence was what was going to get me everywhere. And I grew up really shy and stuff, so it was very hard for me to.
I was exactly the same. I was I grew up
interesting. I wonder why that is.
I grew up like feeling like I had to shelter myself because I didn't feel like I could be who I was even around my family. Yeah. So then you get to school and now you're second guessing everyone's thoughts around you too. Yes. So then again, I hid myself. I stayed quiet. I don't want to talk to certain people. Like I've always had people like me. Like I was always liked. Right. Like I've never the one time I got called a name was because she was mad I was hanging out with somebody else. Like it wasn't like I got picked on or anything. I was a very likable person. I just didn't talk a lot. I was very quiet. I kept to myself. I never really had a lot of personality. And I did that up until I would say I didn't even peak until I moved to Vegas. When it came to coming out of my shell. Like 30, what was I? 32?
So you were still
30? No, in a 31, 30, 31. We've been here like.
So now I am surprised it took you that long because
it took me that long, and here's why. So we moved when I was 27, 28, from Iowa. Right. And when we moved from Iowa, that was like where a lot of that was, right? You stayed kind of sheltered. I worked in a bar. I was a lot of fun, whatever. But I drank. And that helps bring out personality, right? Yes. Okay, well, I quit drinking there. Yeah. And that was right before we moved. And I quit drinking. I just got to the point where I was like, this isn't working for me anymore. Enough's enough. It brings out the worst in me. I'm going to let this go. And not necessarily like I had a problem. It was the easiest thing I've ever quit in my life. Like I just stopped. Right. And, but it was like more of like, it made me mentally like, stupid and I didn't like it and it made me do things that I didn't want to do and I didn't think clearly. I used it sometimes just because I was frustrated, things like that. Yeah, and I was a very social, so I'd get way too drunk. Right.
No, this is kind of how it is.
So I was like, I'm done. So I quit. I was still working at a bar. In Iowa, it is very, very common that everyone drinks. That's the social thing. That's the only thing to do, right?
Seems like it'd be hard at a bar, too, to not be drinking.
And it wasn't hard for me to not drink. Yeah. The hard part was people and their negative comments. Oh, this is just a phase. This isn't going to last. You're not going to make it a week, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, you're right.
And I didn't initially quit, like quit. Yeah. I was just like, I'm just going to take a break. I'm just going to take a month off. That's where it started. Right. And then all of that hate led to me never drinking again. In that time, we moved to Colorado. in Colorado was completely different. Kind of sort of came out of my shell a little bit more me, but like still not fully there yet.
Right.
And then when we moved here, I decided I was just going to try things. And I tried modeling, I've tried acting, I've tried like doing different things, and that completely brought me out.
Yeah, I bet, because you had to do that.
Yep.
You can't be shy and do that kind of stuff.
And then I started doing more social media, and now here we are. So it was a process. And then in that time, I also did self-development, right? Like I was reading books, I was learning about myself, I was doing things to be peak physical form, you know what I mean? With health and everything. We did 75 hard. I don't know if you've heard of that, but
no.
75 days of doing so many tasks every single day for that 75 days. If you miss one task, you have to start all over.
Oh God.
And it was
I might fail at that.
It's 2 workouts, taking a picture of yourself, gallon of water, following a diet, reading 10 pages of a book, you know, stuff like that. Stuff we should do every day.
Yeah, anyways. Helpful things.
And so like we've done that a couple times, which proves to yourself that you can do it if you want to do it.
Right, exactly.
And so there's a lot of those little steps that I took, and then also processing things that I knew caused certain reactions out of me, right? So stuff from like childhood. I've never been one to hold grudges, but like just holding on to things that you shouldn't hold on to.
Yes.
Like it's not, I can literally be in a fight with you and it never be resolved, but I still don't care after the end. Like I'm not going to hold a grudge. I'm not going to be like, I hate this person.
Right.
No, they just don't exist anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's super simple.
Yeah.
And, or you do something wrong to me, like, yeah, I'm going to be mad in the moment, but once I process that, that's it. That's something that you have to get to by working through things that cause you to react to things a certain way.
Exactly.
And so I've done a lot of that, which also was in that process of, you know, getting up to the point where I was trying new things. And
yes. No, that's really good. Now you want to see, I want to tell you how simple it was for me to get out of being shy, because mine's a whole different path. So I was 21. And I was painfully shy. Like when the teacher would call me, I wouldn't raise my hand. But I was this big sports star. So when I did sports, I had no inhibitions. But in all other facts of life, I was just this shell. Okay. So I met this girl. I first got this job at a clothing store. And this girl was just out there. She said whatever she had on her mind. She was kind of loud. She drew a lot of attention to her. Everything I'd never been. And we started going out to lunch together because that we're the only two working at the time. And I remember at first I was so embarrassed being with her because she was so loud and she was just saying stuff all the time. And then I saw something. People liked her. And I saw that she got everything I always wished, like more noticed and everything. She was that lightning rod for me that made me go, no, she's not the one that's wrong. It's me for being so quiet and stupid about it. It's like, why am I so worried about what people think?
How old were you then?
21.
21, okay.
21. And I just turned, because of her, I just turned this corner and started hanging out with her more and more and more, and became more able to come out of my shell, blah, blah, blah. And then it just went from there. But it took seeing, because at first I thought if you acted like that, people thought you were weird or something was wrong with you. I didn't think being loud in public was normal at all, but I realized people really liked her, and I'm going, oh my God, she really gets good results with being just kind of crazy.
What was the reason you were so shy? Like behind that?
You know, I think back then in my 16, 17, 18-year-old stage, I was 100% confident in sports. But everything else about me, I just wasn't that confident about. I didn't think, I didn't know how to dress as cute as the other girls did, or I didn't know, I just didn't get it. But I got sports, and that was the one thing that I felt. So that when I did that, I was completely comfortable and completely at ease. But anything else, I was completely just quiet because I didn't want people to, I was embarrassed about things. But I came from a family that was really a kind of quiet family. And I grew up without any hugging, any touching. We didn't even say I love you my parents have both passed away now, but we never said I love you in all those years of my life. And I just grew up in a weird kind of environment where it was very no touchy, no.
Very emotionless.
Totally.
Which might be why you're more of a logical thinker.
I think it helped.
I was just more of a black sheep. I just didn't fit in with my family. That's what it came down to. Still don't.
Yes. Well, no, and that does happen too. But sometimes I know my middle sister probably felt a bit more like she was the black sheep. And she was a little more outgoing, and she got in a little more trouble than the rest of us. But in the end, she's a business owner, and she really made something out of her life. She was like a politician in our town and everything. She made something out of herself. And you can't ever judge, where you start from, how you're going to end up.
No, it's all choices and
definitely. So, I'm super glad I had the things I did in life that made me, change. And then when I started, I kind of accidentally got my first manager job at a clothing store. And yeah, because I didn't think there was any way I should be doing that. But this lady that was our district manager wanted me to. And then I started kind of getting into that and going, okay, I do get this. This is something I could, because like in sports, was always the captain of the team, or I was the leader. So I knew how to be a good leader. I knew that part, and it's funny. Sometimes I have to put that in perspective of all my jobs. And like the one I have now, there's so many things that I would change that I know would work really well because I've been in many leadership positions and I've managed huge teams of people. And it's hard to get other people to sometimes understand that there are better ways to do certain things or to do little things. So, you want to, you wish you could, I wish I could show some people, this is what I went through and it's why I've been successful, is to get to this better point, in life. And then just as I've gone on, it's just gotten more and more where I just this is the thing you have to learn. I don't want people to not like me, but I can't care if they do or not.
That's it.
It took me a long time to get to that point.
So I look at it more like, I'll never give you a reason not to like me.
Right. I'm not going to try to not be liked.
Right. And it's not because I care what you think of me. It's because I want to have a character that
I want to be a good human being.
That's just that's a damn good human being.
That's what I want to be.
Will not do any harm to people.
Exactly. And I want to be that good person. And if people don't like something about me, I can't help that. And I used to think I had to fix everything. No, I really don't. No, I'm not worried about that anymore. It's like what you see is what you get. And that's how it's going to be, and I'm happy internally. I'm sure you're much happier.
Oh yeah. Nothing really phases me anymore. I've tried to shift. This year has been like the biggest shift, I think, for this. But I've always tried to do this, but it's not always easy. Only focus on what's in your control.
Yes, absolutely.
And the reason I do that is because if you're focusing on things that are out of your control, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. So like you're just focusing on nothing but like driving yourself crazy.
Yes.
If you focus on things that are in your control, you can start making progress and fix things. And now things are a little bit better. Even if they're not perfect, they're a little bit better.
Right. No, that's a great way to look at it, because you can't control the whole world.
Nope.
And you can't control a lot of things going on around you, but I can definitely control where I am. And so say if certain things bother me, I do have a little ability to block things out. That's probably not always the best ability, because I can do it with people too. And it's not the best thing. But if
but I get what you mean.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But if I have to block it out, I do. So I hear people come in and they're so frustrated. Oh my God, did you see this? I said, no, because I don't watch it, because guess what? I need to have a good day and have a good life. So I'm doing and watching and doing things that are positive to me, things that make me happy. I have to stick in that world of happiness, because I'm not going to go down that vortex that we can go down. I'm not going to do that.
Mm-mm.
Don't want to go there. I don't want to be in that dark, icky place you can go into.
Something, and maybe you've had this too, but something I struggle with is people come to me for my problems, right? Or not for my problems,
for their
problems,
yes.
Right? And all I want to do is just give them a solution.
Yes.
And like most of the time, people do not want a solution.
They don't.
They want you to like pity them.
They want you to feel sorry for them.
And I'm like, well, we can fix this. Like,
yes.
This is all you got to do. And like they get kind of offended usually.
That to them is the worst solution, is to fix it.
Yeah.
They want you to feel bad and wallow in their pity.
Yeah, and it drives me nuts.
Drives me nuts. And that's not even just a woman thing, that's a man.
Oh, yeah, that's everyone.
That's everyone. They want you to be a part of their pity party.
Yeah, and if I do not join the pity party,
I don't want to go there. And I'm the first to say, oh my God, I'm really sorry. You know, if it's something.
Well, like there's some things that I can't change, right? Like somebody passes away, I'm so sorry.
So sorry.
Like, I'm here for you, right?
Right.
But if you screwed something up and it needs to be fixed, let's just fix it.
Let's just fix it. And almost anything's fixable.
Yeah.
But it's almost like.
Or you come to me about your relationship multiple times. Okay. Yeah. It's time to end it.
Yeah. There's where I go too. But people want you to feel their pain. And they need to know you're with them in this. Like, also some people just, I think it's a way they get attention. It's to have you feel sorry for them. So some people, that's unfortunately the only way they know how to get attention. So they do it a lot.
Well, a lot of that is because people don't live for their purpose. Like they don't find that purpose.
Yes.
It's a lot of the reasons there's many women that stick with the I'm a mom. It's not like what I'm doing to what I'm bringing to this world. I'm just raising kids.
Right.
But like, not that it's a bad thing to say that, right? But it also shouldn't be your full purpose, because what happens when those kids leave? Now you're lost and you don't know what your purpose is because you never actually built a purpose.
That and my other thing I talk to women about, don't think the man in your life is always going to be there, whether you want to believe that or not. I know so many women that were my age that were not prepared to be dumped, and they got dumped and had no job. They had nothing going for themselves. I'm all about be in a great relationship and love who you're with. I'm all for that 100%. But be able to take care of yourself if it doesn't work.
Well, and it's not even just not working. What if somebody passes away?
Exactly.
We can't control anything. We all get in the most daily, on a daily basis, we get in the most dangerous operating machine, right? Our car.
Absolutely.
Every single day, especially living in this city.
Yes.
Like, and there's
especially on the highways out here.
Yeah, it's so bad. I mean, I watched, I think, 3 different videos of how did that happen in a car. And, but like, so that's an option. That's a thing too. Like, it doesn't even necessarily mean that the relationship's bad. Sometimes things just happen.
Exactly.
You got to be prepared.
You do. That's what I try to tell a lot of people. It's like, just be prepared, because you got to be able to have something that you can do, you know, and maybe know some things, like know how to pump your own gas and know how to get an oil change if you need to, and do things that you have to sometimes do. I think you need to know more of that. See, and sometimes that bothers me, because I think that's where women don't give themselves enough worth. It should never be about that. I like guys to do things for me. Do not get me wrong. I love for a guy to do things for me, but I should be able to do a lot of those things myself too.
Yeah.
Because if he's out of town or he's doing something or whatever, I better be able to take care of myself, because it's ridiculous if I can't.
Yeah.
So I like women to be independent enough. They have something else going on in their life.
You should, if you're in a relationship, you should be able to like calm that independence down, right? But you need to be prepared if you need to be able to react to something, or do something, or whatever it might be.
Exactly.
And another, like, so Justin had a family member that her husband passed away, and she had no idea what was going on financially. Not a clue.
See, and I know many women
not
like
good.
That. No.
And if you're not aware of what's going on and something bad happens, what do you do?
What do you do? I think about this all the time. Because I know many people that I care about that aren't prepared to move forward if something like that happens.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got to know some things about the...
Well, I'm like, building a skill. You don't even necessarily need to work. If you don't have to work and you can take care of your kids, that's awesome.
That's fantastic.
But why not learn skills?
Yes. They can be basic skills.
Yeah.
But just something.
Something that you know how to do.
Yes.
Just in case.
Absolutely.
A hobby, something.
Something. But you do need to be, I just think you need to be prepared that you could end up on your own by a million reasons. And don't be a failure just because of that. Make sure you can go forward and take care of yourself and keep going. And I just don't like when people stall out with things like that. So I do talk to other women a lot about that. I said, just make sure you have something, you know, and I'm all, like I say, I like a guy that'll take care of me. I like strong men, like really strong men. So I just want a guy that's able to do things for me and wants to do things for me.
I think every woman does.
Yes.
I think sometimes we just like if you just settle for something, you just fall into that relationship and how it is. And I don't think it's necessarily that woman didn't want a manly man. She just don't got it.
She just didn't get it.
You know?
Yeah, she just didn't get one.
But I think naturally, and I know there will be women that argue that, but I think naturally we do want a manly man that is capable of taking care of you. It doesn't mean you necessarily need to be taken care of.
It's just nice to have that.
Yeah, it's a security thing.
It is. That's so true. It doesn't mean you're less of a woman or anything else.
Might be Justin.
So, who is he?
See, yep, there he is.
Hello. How are you doing?
Good.
I thought it was him making noises.
Yeah, we didn't know if it was you or the dog making the chewing noise.
Oh, goodness.
Well, do you want to stop it here?
Oh, yeah, we can end it here.
Right.
Where are we at? Oh, it's already 4:00. Look at that. We've been going for an hour and a half.
Oh my gosh.
That's
That's perfect.
All right, guys, we are going to end it here. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.